Hello and welcome to Start Select, the ass-kicking video game show from GameSpot UK. I'm your host, Guy Cocker.
And I'm Jane Douglas, and coming up on this week's Bonanza, we look at the week's news and forward to Gamescom 2010.
We take a look at the brand new Sony Move controller.
We meet the developers of Spiderman Shattered Dimensions.
We meet LucasArts to discuss Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2.
We run down the week's new releases.
And finally, we give away copies of Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days. News time first, and Jane and I have been trawling the GameSpot news channel to pick out the juiciest morsels of gaming actualities for you guys. Now, Jane, you picked out Fallout New Vegas news.
Juicy it is, yeah. Celebrity or supposed celebrity voice cast. No, they are celebrities, come on. For Fallout New Vegas, yeah, so we've got Felicia Day from The Guild, John Doman from The Wire, Matthew Perry of Friends fame, Michael Dorn and Renee Auberjonois from Star Trek and DS9, Chris Christopherson, who is a singer-songwriter, but you may remember from the Blade Trinity, and Zachary Levi of Chuck. Which I haven't watched Chuck. I don't really know Chuck. He is Chuck.
Mr.
So
Chuck.
there you go. And also for the Americans, you might know Wayne, Mr. Las Vegas Newton, who is the Wasteland radio station DJ this time around.
So new DJs, new voice talent. Mm-hmm. Is it going to be as good as Liam Neeson in the original?
There's no Liam Neeson, is there? So, there is Ron Perlman, though. He's the narrator still, so as you'd expect. And no Nolan North, you guys. So
disappointing.
what are you going to do?
But Chandler
right?
Bing, so...
Yeah, Chandler Ton 2000.
Chandler Tron 2000.
He's not a robot. He's not actually a robot. So he's a smooth-talking criminal gang lord, something like that. There we go.
Okay. So the voice cast is in place. The game is out fairly soon.
Yeah, out in October.
October.
So stay tuned.
Cool. Next week on GameSpot, we've got the Gamescom 2010 full lineup. You can check it out over at gamescom.gamespot.com. You'll be able to check out all of the announcements, videos, and previews by bookmarking that space now and find out as it happens. Before that, though, we've picked out our tips from what to expect from the Kolmesse from next week. First of all, the press conferences. So on Tuesday, we have the Microsoft press conference and an event where we're expecting a possible Kinect launch date. On Wednesday, we've got the EA press conference followed by the Sony press conference. So that's about 4 hours of solid press conference action. Last year, Sony announced the PlayStation 3 Slim, and they announced a price cut as well. So I'm hoping for some big Sony news there. And EA press conference as well. They announced the Bad Company 2 release date last year, so probably some news to expect from there. EA usually go pretty big on it. There's also a lot of other publishers there this year. Sony, Microsoft, Square Enix, Namco, Warner Brothers, THQ, Activision, pretty much everyone apart from Sega, Capcom, and there's not going to be any Nintendo news conference event, so they don't usually do anything big on that. So if you want to find out more about it, as well as see our faces presenting video from the event itself, just head over to gamescom.gamespot.com.
So I've been playing the bejeebus out of the World of Warcraft Cataclysm beta recently, and as hardened WoW fans will know, it's the biggest change to the world of Azeroth yet. I've pulled together a tourist guide to the 5 most interesting locations, so let's go check it out. Whether you got hold of a precious beta key or not, if you are a World of Warcraft player or a recovering addict, you'll have heard of Cataclysm. If you're not one of the millions who've played since the game's release in 2005, you need to know that Cataclysm is the 3rd expansion for Blizzard's phenomenally successful MMORPG, and whereas the first 2 expansions, Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King, added vast new areas to the game world, Cataclysm goes further and also remodels the original continents of Azeroth, Kalimdor and the Eastern Kingdoms in apocalyptic fashion. The story runs that Deathwing the Destroyer, who's been biding his time since Warcraft 2, has returned from the elemental plane's Deepholm, trailing death and destruction in his wake. That is, a cataclysm. The upshot of which is that many parts of the vanilla WoW realms have been altered or transformed altogether. There's a lot of it to see, and WoW fans will be rightly looking forward to exploring it for themselves, from the air no less, since the new expansion will allow flying mounts to be used here for the first time. But until Cataclysm is out of its beta testing phase and in the shops, here are 5 noteworthy spots to check out in post-Cataclysm Azeroth. Over in Kalimdor, the Barrens have been split in 2 by a river of lava running east to west. As the Alliance have encroached on this Horde stronghold moving in from the south, they've burned down the Camp Taraho settlement. Sorry, Taurans. Further north, Darkshaw's been hit especially hard with the earth cracked and broken. Deathwing's gone and installed a maelstrom here that threatens to tear the whole region apart, and then there's more volcanic stuff and general destruction. Back east, Loch Modan's dam's been destroyed, leaving it empty and leaving the wetlands nearby wetter than ever. Menethil Harbour's been flooded too. Check out the sandbags and the shipwreck, with the harbour itself damaged but functioning. The all-new Gilneas City, capital of Gilneas, is the starting area for one of Cataclysm's 2 new playable races, the werewolfy Worgen on the Alliance side. It's a seemingly permanently gloomy, gothic-looking city, sort of like the dark twin of Stormwind. The other new playable race, the formerly neutral, now Horde-affiliated goblins, get a much more exotic starting zone, tropical Kazan in the South Seas. World of Warcraft Cataclysm is currently only running in closed beta, but you can find out more about the game in GameSpot's hands-on previews and expect to see the expansion in stores before the end of 2010.
Time for the first of our interviews on Start Select now, where we talk to Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions producer Stéphane Gravel of Quebec studio Beenox to find out how to make an authentic comic-to-game adaptation, as well as reveal all of the 4 dimensions in the title.
My name is Stéphane Gravel. I'm a producer at Beenox, a studio of Activision that is located in Quebec City. And here is Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, our latest game. Earlier this year, we revealed the Amazing Spider-Man, which is the classic Spidey that we've all known since our childhood, and Spider-Man Noir, which is a brand new take on the Spider-Man series with a really different approach, a darker and grittier approach. Then at E3, we revealed Spider-Man 2099, which is Spider-Man from the future, and which is really different from the other 2. And recently at San Diego Comic-Con, we revealed the 4th and last one, which is Ultimate Spider-Man, but with a twist, with the black symbiote suit. So again, something that is completely different from the other 3 universes. So basically what happened at the beginning of the game is that powerful artifact called the Tablet of Order and Chaos gets shattered while Spidey is fighting Mysterio. And those pieces end up scattered in 4 different dimensions. So basically Spidey has to team up with his other selves in order to restore order in those 4 different dimensions. We've got the web swing experience basically because, well, I appreciate it in the previous games and everybody's appreciated, so we wanted to have that in the game. And people liked the combat system in Web of Shadows a lot, so we did inspire ourselves from that combat system. The fighting style for each Spidey, it's different. Amazing uses his webs a lot. 2099 is really dynamic. He moves really quickly. Ultimate uses his symbiote suit, so with the tendrils you get more reach. And Spidey Noir is more of a brawler type, so you can fight up close and personal, but it's better to stay in the shadows than to take down your opponents from behind. We had 5 different teams, so 1 for each universe and 1 that we call the core team that would be working on stuff that was in all 4 universes. But yeah, if you look at 2099, you'll see it's the same city, even though it's 3 different locations. Same thing for Noir. You get it. You're in New York City in the 30s, but you're in 3 different locations that look and feel the same. You're not playing the same sandbox. You get to change sandbox in every level, so that's cool.
Don't let the bedbugs bite.
We were already working on Spider-Man before Arkham Asylum came out, but we had basically the same approach that Rocksteady. I mean, our goal was to stay as close and as possible to the source material that is the comic books in our case, because like you said, it's not based on a movie. So all those 4 universes exist in the comic book format. So we wanted to stay really authentic to that source material, and the success that Arkham Asylum had just showed us basically that we were on the right track. At the beginning of the game, we thought, okay, do you want to do multiplayer or not? And we just wanted to make sure that we would be offering the best single-player experience possible. So we just decided to concentrate ourselves on making sure that this would be a quality game And so yeah, that's why we decided not to go with multiplayer. I would say that the game is about 10 to 12 hours in your first playthrough, but if you want to unlock everything, you need to complete 180 different challenges. So if you want to do so, I would say that the game is easily closer to 28 hours. There's 6 different cinematics that ties the story together that Stanley is narrating. So it's really cool. I mean, if you're a Spider-Man fan like I am, to hear Stanley narrating your game. So it's, I mean, it's awesome. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions will be in store in September 10th. It's on 360, PS3, and Wii. You get the same experience on all 3 consoles, and Kryptonite is doing a DS version as well.
Time for a look now at the Sony Move. We got one of the first units sent into the office this week, and before we got our grubby paws on the device itself, we filmed an unboxing video to find out what to expect when it launches next month.
Hey guys, you're joining us today for the first unboxing, the first look at our exclusive Sony PlayStation Move controller, which Jane is very nicely modelling there. This is the first time we've had the PlayStation Move outside of being accompanied by Sony representatives, so it's just freshly come in the post today, and we're going to take a look. Now, first thing to note is, Jane, that this is the press kit.
Yeah.
This is not what you're going to buy in stores, but
No,
it
it won't
includes
look like this.
It includes all the same stuff that you're going to get.
It's pretty similar in terms of contents, but yeah, you won't get this shiny box.
Which is very nice.
Presumably,
actually.
it is pretty
It
nice.
looks like a nice orb inside.
There we go. Sort of a fisheye effect.
So let's crack it open, see what we're going to get.
Inside, you've got one controller. There we go.
Which is the PlayStation Move.
Which is the PlayStation Move controller, that's right. No navigation controller, but that's the same with the starter bundles at retail. And obviously you've got the PlayStation Eye camera here. I'll pass that over to you.
So you have to use it with the PlayStation Eye. The Move is kind of a cross between the standard motion controller and the camera technology as well, because it uses a sensor in here to track where it is in 3D. So you need both of those to play with PlayStation Move.
Yeah, it's got LEDs inside, so we'll fire it up later and you'll see it can glow all kinds of colours.
Flashing away.
But yeah, it's got accelerometer and a rate sensor inside it, so it can do angle and acceleration. Yeah.
Cool, okay.
There's a wrist strap, so you don't fling it through your TV. And there's a bunch of assets and some demo discs. We've got Sports Champions and what's it called? Kung Fu Rider.
You've got Kung Fu Rider, Sports Champions, and Move Party
That's
as well.
the one.
So
Yep.
3 games. These games that we've got are part of the press kit, so you have to play them on a debug machine. We haven't got retail kits just yet, but the actual hardware is all what you're going to buy in stores, which is quite cool. You can check out the full video, complete with squidgy ball action, on the site right now. Just head over to GameSpot.com. Time to launch headlong into our second interview of the show now, with LucasArts telling us all about Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2.
My name is Cameron Sui, and I'm an assistant producer on Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. In the first Force Unleashed, we introduced the world to Starkiller, who's Darth Vader's secret apprentice. And while he started off being an agent of Darth Vader, hunting down the last Jedi after Order 66, he eventually ended up redeeming himself by forming the Rebel Alliance and then sacrificing himself to protect it.
Well, with The Force Unleashed 2, what we've done is we're telling a new story about Starkiller's clone, set just after the ending of the last game. Starkiller was presumably left for dead, and this clone has memories of the first game of Starkiller, even though they're not his own. And he's on the run from Darth Vader after he escapes from the cloning facility on Kamino.
What happened? Where is he?
In terms of the gameplay, we've really gone back and iterated on the things that we wanted to improve and touch on in the game: the targeting system, the camera, the enemy AI, the boss battles, the combat, the graphics, everything we've just really taken to the next level for the sequel.
And we've revamped the combat by adding another lightsaber to it. It now has a dual-wielding lightsaber style that we had to reinvent a lot of the combat, and it's a lot more quick, a lot more graceful, a lot more acrobatic. But it was a lot of fun, actually, because we get to rebuild all those combos and build that new fighting style. There's a couple of new force powers. One of them is Jedi mind trick. And just like just like all the other Force powers in the game are sort of re-envisioned to be their unleashed versions, Jedi mind trick is our unleashed version of mind trick. At the lowest levels, it turns enemies against each other, it causes them to fight each other. Then later, they'll actually start throwing themselves into harm's way. You'll see them jump off bridges or leap into spinning fans or into other sort of environmental hazards. And at the highest level, they'll actually get so charged up with the Force, they'll go running into their own lines, and then they'll detonate like a living smart bomb. And then in addition to that, there's Force Fury, which is actually a whole new gameplay mode. You'll build up your Force Fury meter over time, and then you'll be able to trigger it for a short period. And that gives you this very brief but very, very powerful upgrade to all your Force powers. So challenge mode is something that's separate from the main storyline of the game. It's a sort of a way to get little bite-sized snack versions of the gameplay as opposed to the main meal of the story. We build these levels that are very specific navigational or combat challenges using the same gameplay mechanics as the main game, but in a very different way, where you really have to be very precise and you're playing against the rest of the world to get the best times on leaderboards and on scoreboards and really get the bragging rights of getting that low time. And it's all very precise and very arcadey and very sort of classic gameplay.
We absolutely take sounds from the original films. In fact, the sound of a lightsaber, sound is a very funny thing because people respond to them emotionally. It's the same with, I remember that movie and that cool moment when that lightsaber came out and made that like amazing sound, and then the TIE fighter exploded and all that sort of stuff. You gotta have those in there. And we've made our own versions, and in fact, we sometimes augment them, but never replace them. It's just, if you just had those, the flip side of that coin is that people would get sick of them, and those sounds have been around forever. But if you just pepper them in there and you just make sure that it's reminiscent of the license in the perfect way, then people just go, I am in Star Wars. I'm playing Star Wars, and that's the goal.
Let go of everything you fear to lose. You must.
It's not so much difficult it is a challenge to be able to please Star Wars fans, because obviously that's who we're making the game for. So we definitely listened to a lot of the feedback from the first game, and we really wanted to make sure that the story made sense in the greater context of Star Wars.
You have to have the hero's journey. You have to have a great story. It has to be epic. It has to be something that's really big. It can't be the sort of thing that's tossed away to the side. It has to be innovative. It has to be something that people haven't experienced before. And it has to be of good quality. It has to be beautiful, in terms of great visuals, great sound, because that's what we grew up with, that's what we experienced, and that's what kids who are being introduced to Star Wars today are also experiencing with the Clone Wars and hopefully with The Force Unleashed.
So my name is Cameron Suey. I'm working on Star Wars The Force Unleashed. I'm an assistant producer, and the game will be released across Europe on October the 29th.
Okay, it's time for the week's new releases. These are the big games, such as they are hitting store shelves this week.
First one, it's the big one, Art Academy on Nintendo DS. Learn painting and drawing techniques with this step-by-step training guide on the Nintendo DS.
Then we have Madden NFL 11 on Xbox 360 and PS3, with the new version of the American footballing Behemoth landing on those consoles this week.
Last time on Start Select, we had 5 copies, all of which are here. Take the 5 copies of StarCraft 2 to give away, thanks to the lovely people over at Blizzard. All you had to do was answer this question to be in with a chance of winning. At which retail store was the London launch held, at which Jane was there at midnight to chat to the crowds? The answer was Game on Oxford Street, and our winners are Richard Holmes from Berwick-upon-Tweed, Jane Heenan from Whitstable, Johnny Armstrong from Berkshire, Matthew Lee from Eastleigh, and David Archer from Ilminster. Congrats, guys. You'll be able to get your Zerg Rush on soon.
This week we have 5 copies of Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days to give away on the PlayStation 3. The game is released on Friday, August 20th on Xbox 360, PS3 and PC, and follows 2 of gaming's most disturbed criminals as they battle through the gritty Shanghai underworld. You can bag yourself a copy of the game just by answering this one question.
That's right, Jane. What European city are developer IO Interactive based? Send your answer if you think you know it, along with your name and address, to competitions@gamespot.co.uk before next week, this time, 19th of August 2010, and we'll draw the winner on the next show. All right, people, that does it from us, but we'll be bringing you another Start Select next week. In fact, it's going to be a Gamescom special from Cologne in Germany. Remember to follow GameSpot UK's Twitter feed to catch all of our tweets from the event itself throughout the week. and let us know what you think of the event by posting on our Facebook page at facebook.com/GameSpotUK. We'll see you again next time, spotters.